trustees are present. Light agenda tonight. Entertain a motion for the approval of the meeting minutes for January 2026. Moved by trustee Peets, second. Second by trustee Brosner. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. On to reports. First order of business under the treasurer's report will be the presentation by EFPR Group. Thomas, is that you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great. Go ahead. The stage is yours.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me on. So what I did is I read a few numbers just so I can bring you through a few highlights. But before I get into that, I really want to thank Kevin and his team for making the audit possible. They provide everything in a very timely fashion. It's clean. It's very easy to go through. So I really want to thank him. Before I get into any of the numbers, we are going to issue a clean or unmodified opinion on these financial statements. Essentially, that's the highest level of assurance we can give, meaning that the financial statements are fairly stated, that everything we looked at is correct and clean, and everything matches to where it should. Looking through some of the numbers this year, what I did is an analysis of where your fund balances are at May 31st, 2025 compared to the amount of expenses you had in each fund. Looking at that, your fund balance is in a very healthy position. Looking at your total expenses in 25 compared to your total fund balance at year end, that fund balance is 58%, which is high. It's not too high, but it shows that the funds are being managed, that you have enough money to be able to support operations. In your general fund, that percentage is 48%, so that shows it's a healthy fund balance and that nothing is getting out of control, that we're going to be able to still be able to pay all the bills. I also did a comparison year over year to see how some of those numbers are trending. And we have some increases in fund balance from the prior year, nothing egregious, but all those percentages are up year over year. It's approximately an 11% increase from 24 to 25, meaning that we are going in the right direction. There's really no funds that give me any concern looking at the total dollar amounts. The only thing I do want to point out is the capital projects fund does have a deficit at the end of 25, but that's just a timing issue. We know that we have certain projects going on that those funds come in a little bit slower than your normal operations. So even though that fund's in a deficit, I'm not really too worried about that. But I think the key thing to note is that your main operating funds, general, water, sewer, refuse, those are all in excellent shape. I really don't have any concerns there. Typically during board meetings, I always like to highlight water and sewer because that's where I see a lot of villages get in trouble, where there's no increase in the rates for years, and then those fund balances fall into a really, really difficult spot to get out of. And a lot of times villages have to increase rates by 10-20%, but I don't see that being a problem here. Those are all in a very healthy position. And looking at your expenses year over year, what I did is I excluded the capital projects fund because those are a lot of one-off items. Your expenses increased by 1.1% from year to year. Now that's pretty remarkable. That's that small of an increase because inflation was 2.4% from 24 to 25, and you do have a lot of contractual obligations, payroll, and certain debt payments that you really have no discretion over. So overall, I think that the town's finances are in a great position and they're being managed very well. So really, I want to use this opportunity to answer any questions that the board might have on the finances or the audit process.
Thomas, did you find anything like in our internal audits that we could improve on? Maybe is there something that we as board members could do that might be more beneficial in terms of oversight, or are we kind of meeting all the things that we're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, certainly it's part of any audit, but in particular, a municipal audit falls under government auditing standards where we do have to look at your internal controls and see what's in place, what's operating effectively, or if there's any significant deficiencies, material weaknesses, anything of that nature. The only thing that we have noted is a carrying finding for, I'm not sure how long it's been there. Kevin could probably answer that better, but I would guess that it's been there for approximately 10 years, is that there are some segregation of duty issues where it's a small finance office, as you obviously know, where some people have to do more responsibilities than they really should. So that's really a limitation of the size of the village itself, and it is something that we do have to put in the financial statements as a carrying issue, but overall, I don't consider that a major issue, and I think your internal controls are operating very effectively.
Great. Good. Other questions? I mean, you get good marks, it's kind of tough to ask questions. I think we're all just kind of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give any negative marks just so that you can hear me talk longer.
There you go. Kevin, do you have anything, or Monique?
Well, I just want to point out, because it's budget season, page 8 and 18 talks about use of the fund balance. This is, however, as more of the fund balance and reserves are used to offset increases in the property tax rate, this stability is threatened. What, does that come from you, Thomas, or can you elaborate a little bit more, or?
Well, the MD&A says that part of that is the amount of fund balance you are budgeting to use up in the subsequent year. So this is really a projection for 26 based on the village approved budget. Based on some of these historical trends, we're actually heading in a direction where the fund balances have been increasing, but at the same time, it's hard to anticipate those fund balances continuing to increase as much as they have over the past couple of years. Some things do have to slow down. I mean, that 1.1% increase in in expenses overall, that's going to be very tough to manage, keeping that number as flat as it is. I mean, payroll alone, you're expecting to increase 3-4%. So there's definitely a significant risk that the fund balances aren't going to stay as high as they are. So I think it's just an important thing to note that even though you are in a healthy financial position, that it's not a guarantee that those numbers are always going to stay in that position. And I was looking over the treasurer's report as part of the agenda for tonight, and I saw that the sales tax number is down this year, and you might have noticed over the past 3 or 4 years, that number has been the highest it ever has been when the New York State started taxing online sales. So it's starting to catch up where that's not going in the same direction anymore. So it's just more of a note that there really isn't a silver bullet with this, but I think it's just something to always keep an eye on.
It's funny, Kevin and I were just talking down in my office about use of fund balance and how the good times are probably coming to an end here pretty soon, so.
Sure, and a lot of the COVID funds from the federal government are essentially dried up. I know you have a little bit left, but it's just not going to be the same as it's been for the past few years, and interest rates are starting to trend down, so that free money you're getting from the banks is going to definitely start to decrease over the next couple of years.
Anybody else? Thomas, we won't keep you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm sure we'll see you next year.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, on to the treasurer's report, Kevin.
Okay, routine things here to start with. Obviously, the 25-26 numbers are on there, showing where we're at year to date. All of the reports have been either emailed, the rescue squad report, or loaded up onto the Google Drive, so you should have your projections now in Excel format to review. He did mention the quarterly sales tax came in. It was down $561,524. Sorry, that's what it came in as. It's down from $615,866 compared to the same period last year.
Kevin, can I ask you something real quick? How's that compared to like the past 5 years? We're still probably doing fairly well with that though. I know I kind of threw you under the bus with that. But
It used to be steadily increasing until COVID. Since then, it's been this and then this and this and this. It's become very unpredictable. To where I was looking at it today for the budget for next year, I'm looking at decreasing at $50,000. Because the first check that we received for this fiscal year compared to the same period last year was up, I think, like 4%. This one's downside. It's so unpredictable at this point. aside, but
Well-
I put in there for 2.4 for next year.
Gas prices have come down a lot, so that's gotta help. Not help, helps me, helps you, but
The Canadians haven't come across for this last year, so that's a drag for us, so very unpredictable. We paid our annual $66,840 payment principal only. There is no interest on the CWSRF project that was done. Not paying this one off until 2049. There is no reason to pay it down early. Anyways, if you could, you can, but you can't pay it down. It's set, I believe that is a set amount, you wouldn't want to, because you're not gonna gain anything by paying it off, because there is no interest. Number 6 was the debt payment for the cardiac monitors and CPR machines. Made in January, that was due for the 15th of February, and this is a 5-year payment plan that they also did for 0 interest or striker, and the last payment for that's gonna be in February of 27. And now with the action items, I have 2. The first one is accepting the draft single audit, so we'll accept that.
Entertain a motion? Moved by trustee Pete, second? Second. Second by trustee Simpson. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, once I get the final version, I will disperse it to everybody, over here, it'll be external, that goes to a mailing list, that I send electronically to a bunch of agencies. Number 8 is a budget amendment. DPW superintendent looking to appropriate $117,000 from the water fund balance, to transfer to the wastewater treatment plant capital project fund, to cover the cost for the wastewater treatment plant facility evaluation project, that was not covered by the EOC grant.
Entertain a motion? Moved by trustee Simpson, second?
Second.
Second by trustee Pitts.
Did we know this was gonna come in this time?
I don't think so, no, but I also think we can get reimbursed through any grants that we have when we do this, so.
Yeah, we got reimbursed 50,000.
No, so this additional cost that we get when we go out and we do the actual projects that they evaluated that we needed to have done, we can actually reimburse ourselves for that. I guess I should have explained that earlier, sorry. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Kevin.
that's all I have, thank you.
Committee reports, code.
Nothing really to report on code this month.
We met briefly, Mike said he had a meeting with their group that represents departments, they had some concerns. Anything else crazy?
No, nothing really, kind of gone through it, we're, not much discussion needs to be.
Since last week, since we met, nothing crazy?
No, nothing crazy.
Okay, thank you. DPW?
Yeah, we met, Shaylin, Steve and I met earlier this week, and there's not a whole lot going on, snow removal, with cold weather, water main breaks, we've had several lines that are freezing, because of the cold weather. So Steve is working on revising some of the code for DPW. And we were awarded a $5 million grant for the water department. It's going to be used for the Bauer Street water tank and clay well. It's a 60-40 grant, which means the grant will contribute to 60% of the cost of either repairs or replacement. And then continuing to do work as they have opportunity on the Veterans Park railings. Steve, you have anything?
Not really too much other than what you stated. I would like to take a second to thank the staff. They had a challenging winter, and the temperatures, the weather, obviously a problem. All departments, they had to work through all their holidays, no time off, so just wanted to thank them for that.
Definitely did a great job. Thank you. Economic community development?
much here. We are moving forward still with the July 2nd event. We have a name now, Red, White, and Boom. And we have a location, it's gonna be at the Massena Arena. And we have a band confirmed already, and a couple of food trucks and a food truck confirmed, and we're just continuing to work out the details for that.
Rick, a lot of positive feedback on that, so that's good. Emergency services?
We are, for rescue, we're working on something that we're bringing forward next month. So, Chief, do you have anything?
Yeah, I got
Your
one thing.
report?
So in next week's midwinter break, the police department, through our union, we bought the ice at the Massena Arena from 1 to 3 p.m. So February 16th, it's gonna be a skate with the cop. We want everybody in the community to come out, kids, adults, and just meet the PD, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a flyer that they put up, it's on our Facebook. I just did a thing with 99.3, we're just trying to get the word out to everybody, so.
What was the date again?
February 16th, Monday, 1 to 3 p.m.
Tell me Dixon's gonna be on skates.
He's not, he's gonna be in the lobby. We're not go out there, so. But if you go and watch Dustin Courier, that'd be pretty funny on skates.
Okay. Thank you. In terms of employee contracts, insurance, I have nothing. Anybody else? Personnel,
No, but we do have a interview set up on Friday at UPW for sewer foreman.
rec,
A lot going on at rec as usual. January had their high school boys hockey tournament, all the games were played, you know, it's 1-1. Their outdoor ice rinks are in at 3 locations, they weren't able to put one in on Howard Street due to a concrete slab. Shacks are not open, there's no lights on, but today at the meeting, they decided that they're gonna turn the lights on at the annex in the evening. The naming policy was approved. They completed the futsal program and had participants in that from Potsdam, Ogdensburg, and Brazier. And that was successful, so they've now planned a 1-week tournament that's gonna run for a week over Thanksgiving break for fifth and eighth graders. They had a Massena Mike tournament. 17 teams participated in that. They usually have 24, but they had that the same weekend that North Franklin had theirs. But from that, they had teams from Watertown, Plattsburgh, and 3 Canadian teams. Had positive feedback from that, and some of those Canadian teams reached out to other people, and now there's more Canadian teams that are signed up for the next tournament they're having there. They have a 6U Jamboree tournament on March 8th. Horizons sponsored a Valentine's skate, and every kid that participated got a food voucher, so there were 80 to 90 kids that came to that. The Massena Figure Skating Club is having their annual ice show this Sunday, the 15th at 1 o'clock, and the theme of that is Passport to the World. And they have their holiday ice sponsors coming up, which Cody said that Massena takes the permit as one of them. We open that in the Cambridge Nature Center, American Legion Women's Auxiliary, the Sons of the Ambets, and the Northside Community Church.
thank you. Busy. That's it for committee reports. On to initial public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board, please state your name and fire away. Good.
Hi, my name's John Meddings, and I got a traffic concern, and I think it was created by the junior high parking lot, but it's now a village problem, where you come down School Street, you make the left bend, you go up Ransom.
Yep.
Well, the junior high has a parking lot there with gates, and the gates are always up, not always, but a good portion of the time. People coming down Ransom think that is a right-of-way to go straight into the parking lot. And I, as a resident, don't believe that's so.
There's traffic, that's not so, that's cutting across the lane of traffic.
Right.
Do we have a sign for something
There
like
is
that?
no, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking about.
Should be,
Earlier.
I don't know, some sort of yield.
Are you, sir, are you saying that the cars are thinking that's the roadway?
Yeah.
Not the cars, the people entering the parking lot.
Staff that are
Do
just,
not.
are just blowing.
They just blow straight through,
Yeah.
and don't look right.
It should be exit only on that side. So I was thinking,
The
So we have
Exit, exit only sign.
So there's been at least 3 times myself that
I've seen
somebody
it now,
almost
there's
hit
no
me
other
in the side door.
entrance.
So is this
No,
a
no.
school?
So, yeah, should we go to the school and maybe discuss with their staff, what,
If the gate is down.
right?
If the gate's always down, with the exception of when somebody then comes to a stop to go out.
Right.
But when I came here tonight, that gate was up.
Yeah, the gate's always, and the same at the high school, of course, you don't have that problem at the high school, but it's
Right.
tough to let people and people to go in. Yeah, I also heard that there was problems, people leaving that, they just blow right through, and they don't even look at it.
That's right, they're not
Yeah,
looking
they're
left
looking
or
the other way,
right,
yeah.
exactly. Because the gate's up, so they go,
And there's always people parked there too,
which makes it harder, because now you're trying to look around a car that's parked there.
I don't know if there's an easy answer as far as the village street.
Other than the school system created this problem.
Yeah, well, we might believe that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
It'd
did
have
they
been nice
bring
if they
it,
would have spoken.
did they bring it to DPW or whoever we have for our roadways to,
That project was done, I think even before I was on the board,
Yeah.
so that.
it's been a while.
Yeah. John, let me have the school resource officer go over and, because, they have faculty meetings, and I hate to throw my brethren under the bus, but that would probably be some of the ones, a simple reminder to them that they don't have the right of way, and maybe a sign when they leave, like yield, you do not have right of way.
We'll take a look at it.
And
see
we'll-
what the health situation is.
And we'll take a look, and, but in the very short term, I'll have the school resource officer speak to the staff, or at least send a pleasant email to
Yeah,
the
because
staff.
where I worry more so is when they come down Ransom, a perfect day today, snowy, if they're coming down thinking they're gonna go straight in, and at the last second, they look right and they see me coming around left, they're gonna take me right in the door.
Yep. No, you're correct. You're correct, so.
And that's happened 3 times already this winter.
That's what we'll do in the short term, then we'll explore some other options as well with the school.
So I can ask.
Yes. I'll look into it first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks. Thanks for your time.
You bet. Okay. On to we have no old business tonight, but new business. First off is the proposed resolution to authorize the agreement for installation of the telecommunications and broadband facilities in the public rights of way. I'll entertain a motion, then I'll explain. Moved by trustee Pete, second. Second by trustee Simpson. So this is slick, and this is for the agreement to bury their cables in the underground portion of where Massena doesn't have the telephone poles. So from Dover Street over. One of the sticking points was, there's other areas? Where?
By me.
Oh, right.
And, I think Al.
And Al Avenue. Yeah, so anyway, they'll be coming through, when they dig, and sometimes they actually have to go under a driveway and stuff, they'll repair everything, that's part of the agreement. And basically, we mirrored the same agreement that, say, Time Warner or Verizon had in those areas as well. They did do it in other parts of the village, but they have not done it in any of the parts of the village that require the underground.
Okay.
It's been an ongoing discussion for like
6
2
months.
years.
Yeah.
No, it's been,
Well, it had to be because it was when I was in the.
yeah.
Okay.
And so Slick will now be a competitor in those other areas of the village as well.
That's good.
Yeah, competition's good. Any other questions? It's a roll call vote. Trustee Peets,
Aye.
trustee Broadbent,
Like,
trustee Gowan. Aye. Yeah, and trustee Simpson. Aye. And I'm an aye. So,
I'm still here, I gotta come on.
Next up, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Steve Bailey, the interim DPW superintendent. Moved by trustee Simpson, second. Second by trustee Broadbent. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I do have one other thing, guys all got the same letter I did. And it's actually a bad idea. So in essence, the letter that we got was, there are certain people that are in nursing homes, they still get charged for garbage, even though they're not using it. And we're wondering if maybe we could put something in the code that would alleviate that, not the water, just the garbage bill. And I'm assuming that's something we would have to do, is we'd have to go through the code first to put that in.
Yeah. But,
So we currently have a provision for snowbirds who would like to release themselves of garbage charges. So just to back up for a second, currently the only way to release yourself from a residential garbage charge is to shut the water off the curb. So we have a provision where we allow people to leave their water on that go to Florida for the winter. Not sure why they wanna do that, but they do. And the provision is if they have a boiler heat system that requires the water to be on, then we'll take the garbage charge off. So, I mean, my suggestion would be, so that is a nursing home that they're not using the service, our services, would be, if possible, shut the water off. I've seen a lot of cases where vacant houses are basically destroyed,
Can we,
unattended.
because like, one of the things they say, they're eventually gonna obviously sell the house and they want the water on, because when it comes time to clean it for sale, but we
Yep.
could just go quickly turn it on.
Yeah, so we provide that service free of charge. We provide a service that is turn off for water repairs. So we go there, turn it off at the curb, come back when they're done, turn it on at the curb for free. Because we want to encourage people to keep their plumbing in working order and have good control of their plumbing. And we also provide a service for residents. A lot of times we're working with realtors, so it's a turn on for inspection. We turn on for a day or two, they get the house inspected. A lot of times the plumbing is contingent upon their funding with an inspection. And, the realtor or the homeowner will call us a couple days later, we'll turn it off, we don't charge for that service at all.
All right, well, I think that then solves the problem. I'll reach out to the individual and say, hey, just have the water turned off and be there. Yeah.
And if they, if they do have a boiler system, a boiler heat system, that is already part of the services that we will release the garbage.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, from the letter, it sounded like this is a good reason
Yeah.
for this person.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to be careful though, in if you're gonna adopt a local law, in how it
It'd be
is.
tough to,
I personally, being the water guy for 27 years or whatever, I hate to see vacant houses unattended with the water on. I really do.
Okay. I'll let them know. I think this solves.
Right, and for, you glad to talk to them and help them.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, good. Thank you. Glad we brought it up. Voucher warrants.
I'd like to entertain a motion that the voucher warrant signed by trustee Brodnet, Mayor Pinkman, and myself, be approved.
Second? Second by Now, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Me, Ken. We've done the police reports, fire, anything else to add, guys? Okay. Any communications, correspondence? Good. Okay. Anyone with closing comments? Okay. I think we do have a need for a short executive session regarding a contractual issue in the CSEA contract. Entertain a motion to go to executive session. So moved by trustee Brodnet, second by trustee Simpson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?